The 80s have never felt so good. We enjoyed a little bit cooler weather today, and it'll heat right back up tomorrow and stay that way for the 4th. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Mark Salinger. We say it was cooler today. That deserves a bit of an asterisk. 87 was our high. Yeah, not a whole lot cooler. That's still a big change, though, than from what we've seen recently. Won't last long, however. We're preparing to heat right back up. Lauren Robinson joining us this evening, looking ahead to your 4th of July forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see that warm weather stick around all the way through the 4th of July. Today, we did make it to 87 degrees at DIA, and really all that meant was it still felt outside, but it broke our 90-degree streak. So we're going to have to start that streak again tomorrow, and it's going to last a good portion of the week. This afternoon, most of the Front Range and Eastern Plains saw 80s. We were in the 70s and 80s in the high country. The western slope stayed pretty hot with the low 90s for their highs out there. Now, as we take a look at our HD Doppler radar, we're still watching for some scattered to isolated showers and storms across the Front Range. The Eastern Plains still pretty dry, but we do have a few more showers left to push its way over Denver. Right now we're looking at some showers and storms near El Dorado Springs, pushing through Broomfield and Lafayette and on through Brighton and Lochbuie. We're going to watch for those to continue to move on out. And then to the north, we have a larger storm making its way all the way from around Wellington through Loveland. That's going to continue to move eastward as well. So these storms will die down overnight, but we will see another round of showers and storms tomorrow. And along with that heat, those are likely to pack a bigger punch. So coming up in my 7-day forecast, we're going to talk more about the showers and storms through the rest of the evening, the hot weather returning tomorrow, and yes, your 4th of July forecast. All of that for you just ahead.
Tonight, Commerce City Police are investigating a stabbing that happened in the parking lot of a KFC restaurant. Police say it happened on East 60th Avenue around 6 o'clock this evening. One person was stabbed, another was hit with an object. Both were taken to a local hospital, though we don't yet know how badly they were hurt. Also don't know exactly what led up to the incident. Out in Westminster, police there are looking for someone accused in a deadly stabbing. That happened around 9:30 this morning on Melody Drive off of West 120th Avenue near I-25. Police say they found a man stabbed in the chest. He later died when they got there. Police say they're looking for a man with brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing black pants and a brown lawn sleeve shirt. If you see him, you're asked to call 911. Tonight, Denver police are investigating an overnight shooting in Green Valley Ranch. It happened on East 41st Place off Himalaya Road. Police say one girl was shot. She's expected to survive. Don't know her age, but she is a minor. Tonight, they don't have any information on that suspected shooter. At this point, police have not either said what led up to the shooting or what may have occurred. New tonight, park rangers have identified the man who died during a rafting accident at Dinosaur National Monument. That's in far western Colorado, near the state line with Utah. 54-year-old Michael Harp was from Utah. He was part of a private group that was riding along the Green River Thursday afternoon when the raft got pinned down underneath a rapid. It's an area known as Hell's Half Mile on the river there. Harp went under the water and was trapped underneath the raft. The group was able to free him, but he drifted downriver. Commercial rafting company found Harp's body about 10 miles downstream. That happened yesterday morning. Back here on the Front Range, 8 people were rescued from Chatfield Reservoir on Thursday night. Luckily, they're all expected to be okay. It's the latest rescue for first responders who say the water conditions can turn very dangerous very quickly this summer. First responders say they've had to rescue more people just this month alone than they normally do in a full summer. And CPW says this month's hot and stormy weather hasn't helped either. They're making for dangerous conditions that can cause some serious problems for paddleboarders on lakes.
And when you're paddleboarding and kayaking, it doesn't really take a lot of wind to knock you off. So people aren't expecting that to come through. And if you're not wearing your life jacket, you go in the water, you get blown away from your board or your kayak, you're not really getting back to that at all. So that's triggering a lot of rescues.
CPW says it's planning extra patrols this weekend and next weekend around the 4th of July. Their focus is to make sure everyone is wearing life vests and is on the water safely. Recovery from the Marshall Fire hasn't always been fast, yet 2.5 years later, every single milestone is still important. Tonight, the town of Superior reopened their historic museum that was destroyed in the fire. 9 News reporter Ria Jha joins us live in Superior. And Ria, this is a big milestone for that town that was affected so much by the fire.
Right, this structure that is now behind me literally used to be a pile of ashes, and planning for this new museum started back in 2022, so a lot of community members showed up here this afternoon, seeing this as a symbol of their recovery.
So when the Marshall Fire hit, Superior didn't just lose 400 homes and businesses, we lost a lot of our history.
In 2021, the Marshall Fire took the town of Superior's museum, a mine camp house that held more than 100 years of the area's history. Since then, its absence was a constant reminder of what they lost.
For so many reasons, it was heartbreaking.
On Saturday, the town officially reclaimed their history.
1, 2, 3.
Do it.
Yep.
There we go.
Yay!
This replaces the one that was destroyed in the Marshall Fire. So this is indeed a red letter day today as we inaugurate this new museum.
Last year, Larry Dowsey with the town's Historic Commission recruited architects, builders, and community members to help rebuild.
It's an unbelievable feeling in a lot of ways because after the fire, there was nothing left here, just the basement and basement full of ash.
On the ashes of the old museum now stands an exact replica in its place, from the shingles on the roof to the wood panels on the floor.
So it was made from repurposed wood, so it looks like it's legitimately old. And our old floor was like this.
With a little added protection this time.
The shingles and the siding are fire resistant.
Inside, community members stopped to watch a time lapse of the rebuild.
People can just see the resurrection of the museum.
There's so much love in this building, and I think it has just had to raise the spirits of the entire community that they can recover from a terrible catastrophe.
A resurrection symbolizing resilience.
In the spirit of this community, we just keep going, so it's very important.
The museum will be adding a new exhibit, a multimedia exhibit documenting the Marshall Fire and its impact. The Historical Commission saying it's an integral part of this town now. The mayor announced a new milestone for this town, saying that they are now 60% rebuilt. Reporting live in Superior, Ria Jha, 9 News.
So amazing to see all those communities in Boulder County rebuilding. So as rebuilding continues out there, we're seeing examples of people trying to take advantage of the survivors of the fire. A contractor accused of stealing more than $1 million from Marshall Fire victims now will stay in jail, we're learning. A judge denied a bond for Leon Scott, I should say, keeping it at $500,000. Deputies arrested him on Thursday after the Boulder County Sheriff's Office says he stole money from 4 families looking to rebuild. The homeowners say only about $248,000 of the $1.6 million that they gave him actually went into working on their properties. The arrest affidavit states the rest went mostly to personal use, like a trip to South Africa, purchases at Gucci, a new car, and $28,000 paid to a church that Scott goes to. He will be back in court next month. If there are any other victims out there in Boulder County deputies want to hear from you. A man who died after he was exposed to a deadly gas at work was remembered by his community today. Last month, Tristan Teeter was killed when he was exposed to hydrogen sulfide. He was working at a sugar factory out in Fort Morgan, out on the Eastern Plains. Today, dozens of people gathered at a car show in Denver to remember him and try and help his family. Tristan left behind a wife and 2 young boys.
As hard as this is and as horrible as it is, it's wonderful how people have come out to support our family. It makes me cry. I can't imagine. It blows me away that this many people, want to help and care.
Western Sugar says the workers were doing routine maintenance when they were exposed to the gas. 3 other employees and 2 first responders were also taken to the hospital the day that Tristan died. They were all treated and released.